The Soviet Union at that time made up 15% of the Earth's total land area and consisted of 15 socialist Soviet republics. This video shows how the 15 former Soviet republics are doing today. A warm welcome, friends, to a new video on this channel. The Soviet Union was incredibly diverse, not only linguistically, but also culturally and ethnically. After the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, those 15 countries gained independence and are known today as Armenia, Azerbaijan, Belarus, Estonia, Georgia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Latvia, Lithuania, Moldova, Russia, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Ukraine, Uzbekistan. Yes, while all were under Russian influence, each country developed quite differently. The Baltic states are very different from the Asian Stan countries. Of course, that's due to various factors, geographical, political, and so on. In this video, I'll compare how these countries developed in parallel. I'll start with their economies and gross domestic product. After the Soviet Union collapsed, all the Soviet republics faced severe recessions. Infrastructure and production lines declined, making everyone poorer initially. But after a short dip, the gross domestic product rose over time beyond what it was in the Soviet Union. The newly gained freedom, so to speak, led to greater prosperity. Turkmenistan, a crazy dictatorship in Central Asia, increased its gross domestic product by 300%. You see, the capital of Turkmenistan is made entirely of white marble and would actually be very wealthy. Turkmenistan holds the world's 6th largest gas reserves. Nevertheless, the wealth goes to the dictator Berdi. In need to read it, Berdi Muhammadov, and the population doesn't get much of it. Guys, 2 fun facts. Turkmenistan has its own dog breed, and a few years ago Putin received such a dog as a gift from the Turkmen president. That's the Central Asian Ovcharka. The dictator also has various hobbies. For example, he sometimes releases rap videos. Visiting this country for the project will be the hardest challenge, since it's one of the world's most isolated places. Think right after North Korea it is Turkmenistan. Entry is only allowed with a guide to show you the city, and you for sure can't go alone. Flights are very expensive and can reach up to 1,000 euros. However, there is one single loser, and that was Ukraine. Ukraine had a higher gross domestic product during the Soviet Union than after the Soviet Union. That means, objectively speaking, Ukraine has become poorer, and that was already the case before the war. The statistics are from 2012 and 2017 and 2018, so after the war, things are likely worse. For gross domestic product per capita, the Baltic states have about 20,000 to 30,000 euros, indicating high wealth. Next are Russia, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, and Belarus, followed by the Caucasus countries. Ukraine, Moldova, and Tajikistan are at the bottom. In Tajikistan, people have around 1,000 euros a year, making Estonians about 30 times wealthier. Sure, the prices are different too, but still Tajikistan is really quite poor in comparison. I've also visited Estonia, and everything there, the infrastructure, technology, and economy, is state of the art. I'd say it's not behind Germany at all. I haven't visited Tajikistan, but I have been to Moldova, which I believe is among the poorest countries. The poverty there is very noticeable. In addition, there are abandoned ruins all over the city, like this huge circus here or the observatory, which shows those statistics are meaningful and the realities of life are extremely different. I also checked the happiness index, because at the end of the day, what really matters is how happy people are within a country. The economy is only secondary. According to the United Nations, as of 2017, Uzbekistan is the happiest country, followed by Russia, Lithuania, Latvia, and Moldova. People from Armenia, Georgia, and Ukraine are the least happy by comparison. Then I want to introduce you to another political dimension, namely the democracy index. 7 out of 15 countries are internationally classified as autocracies or dictatorships. President Lukashenko has led Belarus since the Soviet Union collapsed. But it's clear, though, that not everyone agrees with his rule. In Belarus, hundreds of thousands protested in 2020, and I think it was around 33,000 to 35,000 people who got arrested then. You have to imagine that. 33,000 people were arrested during the demonstrations. He's still in office and ruling. In Kazakhstan, there is President Nursultan Nazarbayev. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He has also led since independence. And now the capital city has even been named after him. I mean, it was renamed, that's wild. His first name is Nursultan, which is what Astana is now called, showing his huge influence.
Berdi Muhammadov in Turkmenistan and Mirziyoyev in Uzbekistan only became president after their predecessors died.
Aliyev from Azerbaijan inherited his presidency from his father, and Putin has also been in power for 24 years now. These 7 countries are internationally recognized as autocracies, where in many Soviet republics the presidency is essentially a lifetime role. Most stay in office for life until they die. We're almost done, but I want to discuss the language. Russian was spoken in all 15 countries. Of course, because of Russia's influence, even now, a large part of the people in these countries understand Russian, so that's pretty practical if you want to travel. Nevertheless, in many countries, some laws were passed. Nevertheless, in many countries, some laws were passed to promote their own language. In Azerbaijan, Moldova, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan, the Russian Cyrillic alphabet was even replaced again by the Latin alphabet. Georgia and Armenia each have unique ancient languages and entirely different scripts. But one question remains: how did the countries felt about each other after gaining independence? After the Soviet Union collapsed, all countries except Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania joined the Commonwealth of independent states. The Baltic states wanted to distance themselves as much as possible from the Soviet Union, and they viewed the Soviet era as an unlawful occupation. That means the 12 countries still had more or less good relations, and Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania separated themselves. But a lot has happened since then. Many countries have left this Commonwealth of independent states. The Baltic states joined the European Union and NATO, which Russia did not like at all at the time. There were also internal divisions, such as Transnistria breaking away from Moldova. In Azerbaijan, there were separations with Nagorno-Karabakh, and then there were also separations in Georgia, of course with South Ossetia and Abkhazia. But the most relevant now are the separations in the Ukraine. For instance, Luhansk and Donetsk broke away from Ukraine in 2014. Most only heard about these people's republics when the war began. But already in 2014, pro-Russian separatists and, yes, a certain part of the population there split off and fought for independence. This war has lasted a long time. But then, so to speak, it was taken to the next level. In 2022, when Russia, after confirming their independence, also incorporated them into its territory, so to speak, making them part of Russia. So yeah, this means nearly all these countries have experienced wars and conflicts. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it insightful about how these countries compare, including where things are improving or declining. It's exciting to see how things will develop in the coming decades. Will the other republics catch up with the Baltics, or will the Baltics pull further ahead? Here's some exciting news for those still here. The Soviet project will continue soon, with the Soviet Project 6 starting in a week or two. I'm flying to a former Soviet Union country to make new films for you. Try guessing in the comments where I'm headed. We'll meet again abroad in a new country. Exactly, guys. See you until then. Bye.